Hello and welcome to this very special Yarndale Make Along for Emma, especially to go with our Yarndale brochure this year. And one of the patterns is the Yarndale Festival Hat. It's a really simple pattern. If you've not crocheted before, you're quite new to crochet, you'll be able to do it quite easily because it's only got 3 different stitches. They're all UK. I'll explain them to you. There's slip stitches, chains and trebles. So they're the 3 stitches, and most of the rounds, once you've done the increase, are exactly the same. So once you get going, you get into a nice rhythm. So it's a bit like doing a granny square blanket, but you're doing a hat. So it's much quicker to achieve. So I've made 3 of these, and 2 of them I've used Shapey's Soft Fun, which is really nice and soft to use, and you can use any double knit yarn. The Shapey's Soft Fun is an acrylic cotton mix. It's nice and soft and easy to use, and there's lots and lots of different colours, and they are available as our Yarndale Learn to Crochet, Learn to Knit kits, with a selection of 5 different colours. But like I say, you can use any double knit. I've got a 4mm hook, so I'll get some nice soft stitches with that, and some scissors for snipping off. I also need a darning needle at the end to sew in all my ends. So that's what we need. We need probably about 50 grams of yarn. So in our Learn to Make kits, there's 100 grams. That's more than enough. In fact, I think you could squeeze 2, depending on how much you leave for your ends. Okay, so let's start off with the beginning of our hat. So the pattern says, if you've got the brochure in front of you or it's on the website, it's the pattern. It says to start, make a slip knot and chain 4. So I'm going to start with this nice purple. Purple's one of my favourite colours. So we start with a slip knot onto the hook, and then it says chain 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Then join that to make a circle. Okay, and to join it, the hook needs to go into the first chain that you did. So back at the beginning of your slip knot. So you put the hook through, spin that around a little bit, and then yarn over and pull through that first stitch and through the chain that you've just done. Okay, and if I wriggle it like that, you can see I've got a little circle. Okay, so round 1, we're going to actually work into the middle of this chain circle. So to start the round, we chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and that counts as the first treble. We're then going to do UK trebles. I'm going to do 11 of them into that circle in the middle of that chain circle that we made. So into the hole in the middle, not into the stitches, but into the hole. So to do a treble, we yarn over the hook so that we've got two bits of yarn over your hook. Then the hook goes into the hole, yarn over again, and pull the yarn back through the hole so that you've got 3 loops on your hook. And that's why it's called a treble. It's got 3. So we yarn over again through the first 2 loops, yarn over again through 2 loops, and that's your first treble completed. Okay, so to do a treble, we yarn over, in through the hole, yarn over and back through, yarn over through 2 loops, yarn over through 2 loops. Okay, we're going to do that a total of 11 times into that central circle. So hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4. I've lost count, so I'll do a few and then I'll go back and count. 11's quite a few. You get quite a nice tight circle of stitches. I'll do one more and then I'll just count where I've got to. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's quite lucky. Okay, so I've got my 11 trebles into there, and then it says join with a slip stitch into the top of the chain 3. So that was where you started your round. So you put the hook into the chain and pull the yarn back through the chain and back through that top of that last treble that you've done. Okay, and then you're going to pull the yarn through that loop, and we snip it off and fasten off, pull it all the way through like that, and give it a nice tug. Okay, and that is the end of round 1. Okay, so that's your round 1, that's your circle to start with. Okay, so round 2, we're going to join the new yarn with a slip stitch into any of the spaces between any of the 2 trebles from round 1. If you just poke your hook in, you'll be able to see where those spaces are. Just have a little fiddle if you're not quite sure, and you should be able to find a space. So in that space, I'm going to pull a loop through and join it just like that. Okay, so we've joined with a slip stitch. Okay, and this round starts exactly the same as the one before with a chain 3. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, then we're going to do 3 trebles into the next space. So find the next space. Okay, and we're going to do 3 trebles. So 1, 2, 3. And we're going to repeat that all the way around in every space. Okay, so 3 trebles in every space going round until we get back to the beginning of that round and the 3 chains that we started with. And in that space you do 2 trebles and then join with a slip stitch like we did in round 1. I'll go all the way around and show you. Don't know about you, it's been such an amazingly hot summer at times. The only thing I've been able to do is some slow crochet or some slow knitting. I've had to abandon big projects, and I found small projects like socks and this hat and granny squares. Actually, granny squares have been a bit of a saviour because you can do a small little granny square and you don't have a great big pile of something on you. And then I've got them all saved up ready to join and make into something in the winter when I want to sit under something that's getting a little bit larger and cosy. Right, almost all the way around. So I'm doing 3 trebles in each space. So you'll see this hat actually grows quite quickly. So we go 3. I mean, these kits that we have 5 different colours in. If you've got lots of bits of yarn in your stash, you could make this hat as many colours as you wanted. Or use some variegated yarn. I've even done one using 2 strands of sock yarn together. That's quite nice, and that's a woolly sort of cosy one for winter. Right, okay, so I've got back to where my 3 chains were, so I'm going to do 2 trebles into that same space where the 3 chains were, and then join with a slip stitch into the top of those 3 chains. So actually put the hook through the chains, yarn over and pull right through the stitch and the last treble, and then pull through again, snip it off, pull it all the way through to fasten it off, and you get a little bit of a knot there, but it's nice and secure, it's not going to come undone. So that is round 2 complete. Okay, so round 3, almost the same as round 2, but in this round you put an extra chain in between each of your 3 treble clusters. So instead of starting with chain 3, we start with chain 4. So join in any space between 2 of your 3 treble clusters. Nice zingy orange this time. So join with a slip stitch and then chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, then into the next space between my 3 treble clusters, I'm going to do 3 trebles again. And then a chain. And 3 trebles. Oops, didn't go through. 3 trebles. And then a chain. 3 trebles. And a chain, and that's all the way around until you get back to where you started with your chain 4. And in that chain 4 you're going to do 2 trebles into that space and join into the top of those chains, because that completes that 3 treble cluster. So the 4 chains at the beginning it's like 3 of the chains is a treble and 1 chain is the chain space that goes between the group. So you can see how it's just helping to make it bigger and keep it flat for now, because we don't want it to curl too much. Then the magic starts to happen. It's all about how many trebles really, and it's just a nice fun colour play. You can pick colours for people that you think would like a certain festival vibe, or a party hat, or a sun hat for the beach hat, or a woolly warm one with a pom-pom on the top even you could do, couldn't you, for winter. I had a knitted hat that my granny knitted me when I was little, and it had a little string coming from the top. Well, it was a braid really, not a string, with a tiny little crocheted doll dangling. I haven't got any pictures of it, and I haven't even got the hat anymore. I so wish I did have. Oh, got a bit of a tangle here. Okay, so we're almost at the end of this round. A hat is such a lovely gift, or a gift to yourself if you're looking after yourself and wanting to make yourself something rather lovely and unique. And you can guarantee when you make anything yourself, people will ask you, oh, where did you get that hat? Where did you get those socks? And people say, oh, can you make me one? Get that so many times. Okay, so there we are at the end of the round. So we've got 2 into here to the last one. I've got a bit of a tangle here on my yarn, but it doesn't matter because I'm almost at the end. It's because I pulled too much out of my ball. It's my own fault. Okay, it doesn't matter because I'm going to snip it off. So into the top of the chain, yarn through and pull it all the way through. And we're going to snip it off, and I'll sort out that tangle of orange before I come to using orange again. So that's the end of round 3. It's looking rather zingy and very summer-like, I think. I'm not ready for summer to be over just yet. I don't know about you. Okay, round 4. So I told you this is quite a simple pattern because this round is almost the same as round 3, but instead of doing 3 treble clusters, we're going to do 4 treble clusters. So we join in any space. The spaces are much easier to see, look, when we've got a chain between them. Join with a slip stitch in any of those spaces. Okay, so exactly the same, but with 4 trebles in each space. So we start with our chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and a chain space. 1, 2, 3, 4, chain space. 1, 2, all the way around, okay, until you get to that first chain where you'll do 3 trebles, so that you're completing like the 4 treble cluster, because the chains at the beginning count as 1 treble, remember. So just go all the way around, and that is round 4. It's quite appropriate really. The round 4 should have groups of 4 trebles, so just keep going round, and that's how you do your round 4. Okay, so we've got 4 rounds completed. Round 5, we're going to start just the same as we did in round 3, by joining with a slip stitch, and we chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then in each of the spaces between our 4 treble clusters, we're going to do 3 trebles, 3 trebles, 1 chain, and then 3 trebles. So into that space you've actually got a total of 6 trebles going in there. This helps to just make the hat grow and turn the corner. Okay, so no space between. The spaces just come between our groups of 3s actually into the space. So 1, 2, 3 trebles, 1 chain, 3 trebles, all into the same space. Okay, starting to grow. So this round you do that in every single space around. So you're getting quite a lot more stitches, but this is the last increase. If you've got quite a small head, it's really hard, isn't it, to work out how big somebody's head is, but if you've got a small head, I would say that my head is probably average size, so this hat pretty much fits an average size head. So if you've got a smallish head, you might like to do 2 trebles, chain 2 trebles into each of the spaces, and that will make it just a little bit smaller and a bit more of a snug fit. But it depends very much on your tension when you're crocheting. Lots of things that can make it different. Okay, so we carry it all the way around with our 3 treble, chain 3 treble into those spaces from the previous round. Okay, it's starting to get quite a pretty little shape, look. Okay, so that's round 5. I told you there weren't many stitches. I mean, we've done slip stitch, chain and trebles, and that's been it. So perfect hat if you're new to crochet. So the end of round 5, we've got all the way around to where we started with our 4 chains. Okay, and this is where it kind of tucks it in and makes it a little bit hat shaped. We're just going to do 3 trebles into this space. 1, 2, 3, and then join to the top of that chain 4 and pull through and fasten off. Okay, so you see starting to get a little bit of a shape. Okay, so round 6. Okay, actually round 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 are all exactly the same. You're just going to repeat round 3 for every round. So join in any space, we chain 4 after we've done a slip stitch. I've gone back to my starting colour. You can do any colour you want. I just like a repeating stripy pattern. I think it reminds me a bit of Yarndale socks. Okay, so we chain 4. Okay, and then in every space around, we're going to do 3 trebles. With a chain in between, because that's what we started to do in round 3. So it's just groups of 3 trebles, nice soothing trebles. Lovely thing about this is you could do one round and put it down, and you come back and your hat will just grow, because it's not many rounds at all. Think how long it might take to make a blanket. I've made many blankets and many cushions. This is just, it's just a few rows really, and a completely portable project. Just pop it in your bag. You can do a few stitches if you're on the bus, a few stitches on the tube, on the train, waiting for the bus. I can honestly say I never go anywhere without a bit of something in my bag to make. Because you never know when you just might be able to do a few stitches. Okay, so this is round 6, and every round from now on until we get 16, we're just going to do 3 trebles all the way around till you get to the last one, and then you just do 2 trebles and join into the top. So just repeat your round 3 every single round, fastening off at the end and changing colour if you want to, or you can stick with the same colour. The beauty of crochet, I think, is just playing with colours. What a difference different colours can make to the same design. Round and round. So 16 rounds done. Lovely bright, I think it's a bit of an ice cream colour hat, this one. Round 17, we're going to join new yarn, new colour, with a slip stitch as we've done for all the other rounds in any space between our 3 treble clusters. And then in that space we chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and do 2 trebles in that space. So it's like a 3 treble cluster if you count those 3 chains at the start as a treble. So we've done our 3 chains, then 2 trebles in that space. Then the next 3 trebles are worked into the top of these treble stitches from the round before. So we go into the top, so it's underneath. There's like a chain. You see the top of the stitch. The top of the treble is like a chain. Next little chain around the top. Okay, so we're going to do trebles into the top of those stitches. So 1, 2, 3. See, they're in the top. They're not in between. They're actually into the top of the stitches. Then the next 3 trebles are worked into the space. So we've got 3 treble clusters into the spaces between treble clusters of the round before. So 1, 2, 3, then 3 into the top of the actual stitches from the round before. 1, 2, 3. So you get a bit of a solid brim starting to appear. And the brim is worked in 2 rounds, so you continue in this pattern for this round. All the way around. It's quite a lot of stitches because we're adding 3, aren't we, in between, as well as 3 in the top. That's what helps to keep that lovely bucket hat shape. The nice floppy brim. Okay, so we start to do our brim. So that's the first row, or the first round of the brim. So we're going to continue all the way around your hat until you get back to the beginning and slip stitch to join. But importantly, not going to fasten off at the end of this row, because round 18 is in the same colour, and basically we're going to do 1 treble in the tops of all the stitches all the way around. I'll show you when we get to that. I'll just complete this round first. Okay, so coming to the end of round 17, that's the last 3 trebles into a space and 3 into the top of those stitches. We need to join to the top of the first chain 3 where we started the round. So slip stitch into there and pull through, but we're not going to fasten off because we're going to keep the same colour. Okay, so round 18 starts like pretty much all the other rounds have, either with a chain 3 or chain 4, but most of them started with chain 3. So chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then you're simply going to do a treble into the top of every treble from the last round. Okay, so into the top of the stitch, so underneath that chain at the top, or what looks like a chain, which is the top of the stitch. And you get a lovely floppy hat brim. So I hope you've found this make along helpful, and look forward to seeing lots of your festival Yarndale hats on social media. Please, please, please do share them with us. Okay, we'd love to see what you've made. The brochure, we're really proud of the brochure this year, as we have been every year, and it's full of lots of lovely makes, ideas, and is a really good keepsake for all those exhibitors. And you know, you might see somebody and think, oh, I really like that, and it's good to look back through and remember those exhibitors that are your favourites, and lots of lovely pictures to remind you of what I hope has been a fabulous weekend for you. Hope you've enjoyed lots of new ideas and gone away sort of buzzing with creativity, ready to start a new project, or maybe finish a project that's been sat in the corner for a while. I certainly have quite a few projects that I need to finish off this winter, but that's quite a nice feeling, because if they need finishing off, that means you've done quite a lot of it already and there's not much more to go. So it almost feels like a bit of an instant project. I felt like a bit of a cheat actually. A couple of weeks ago I was doing one of our community workshops for the Worldwide Creative Project, and this lady there had made a whole lot of links for chain bunting, but she hadn't sewn them together. So she loved knitting, but she didn't like the sewing bit at all. So I sat and sewed them all together, and it felt like I'd suddenly made a great big long length of chain bunting. So sometimes it's good to have a project that's been started to finish off, a real sense of quick achievement. So I hope you enjoy making this hat. and wearing, and we'll share some on our social media. And if you have made one, please do share a picture. Like I say, we'd really love to see lots of Yarndale hats there, just like we've seen lots of Yarndale socks. It's great to see what you're making. So I hope that's been helpful. Enjoy your hat making, enjoy your hat wearing, and remember to keep cosy and warm this winter. Okay, look after yourselves. Bye.